Hello, my name is András Seftot, and I'm the Director of Volunteering Hungary Center for Social Innovation. We are the coordinator of the BEESE project, and I'm thrilled to give you this introduction to this online course that we created in the frame of this Erasmus Plus project with 8 wonderful partners all over from Europe. Ready to go? So let's get started. I'm going to talk about a few things. First of all, a little bit the concept and the background and relevance of pro bono, types and formats of pro bono projects, the possible skill areas that are needed for the projects, very importantly about the benefits of pro bono projects, and specifically why pro bono can be so important for students. And last but not least, somehow the aim and the background of our beloved BEESE project. So, let's go. So, pro bono is a very special volunteering act. It's based on very high level of knowledge, skills that are provided often and typically to community or NGO non-profit causes to solve some of the key problems or some difficulties of the organizations. Through these encounters, through these projects, the organizations can perform better, can actually scale up their activities, and maybe open new program areas or new services. Most of the time, these pro bono projects are done in corporate environment, meaning that the pro bono volunteers are coming from companies, corporations that are enabling and supporting these projects. And the employees provide their skills, the skills that they use in their operation, in their business operation, basically every day. Without that, the company would not be able to operate. And those skills are very often, according to our experiences, missing or lacking in the non-profit world. So these encounters are very enriching and very important for the community organizations. To our experience, this is probably one of the most effective way to provide skills and support organizations, because the pro bono volunteers actually teach and help organizational leaders to understand how they can actually do certain work better, what skills, what tools they have to use in order to create a better workflow or create a more effective organizations. Pro bono became nowadays a truly global phenomenon. It started mainly in the legal field in the United States after the Second World War and remained mainly the phenomenon of legal pro bono workers and legal lawyers. And in the last 2 decades, it became spread all over on different management areas, and more companies created pro bono programs because they understood that it is good for their internal purposes, but as well they can do a very high level of impact in the society. Nowadays, the global pro bono network also includes more than 50 intermediate organizations all over the world that are all doing extraordinary work to connect the demand and the supply side. And I believe that pro bono has a very bright future, and it's going through a very dynamic development in these years. So let's see what are the possible types and formats. To be honest, pro bono programs and projects can actually take place in many different ways. It all mainly depends on the leaders. So most of the time, the business professionals, so that they can create and design an implementation plan that best fit the need and the actual challenges of the organizations. That is crucial, that these pro bono projects actually reflect and work around the needs of the organization, and that the pro bono volunteers as consultants are doing their best to serve those needs. So you can see that the solutions can be very, very, very different, and the more prepared, the more experienced the team and the team leaders, they most probably will find the most suitable solution as well. A pro bono project can be a very short interaction, maybe even a few hours of consultation can help an organization in a great way. Very often it has some kind of a mid-term or long-term perspective as well, but it's never too long. Pro bono projects are not like tutoring or mentoring or training. This is actually very active project development. It always has a very clear beginning and end, because the time is very short. The availability of the business consultants are limited. So they want to know before they go into this interaction how exactly they will have to work. In our case in Hungary, but there are many cases in other countries, many different formats and different types. Most of the time, the best are the one-day projects, marathons, that of course needs to be prepared with the diagnosis, and if it's well prepared in one day in this marathon format, the consultants can do a lot. Of course, there are certain areas where one day is not enough. Typically, the IT is a field where these connections, these projects have to take longer. Then there are different skills and different things to be considered to make it successful. I already mentioned, but I think the key is the good design and the good preparation of the project. The team and the team leader has to act almost like a conductor. They have to know how this orchestra will best work if they want to have the best sound and the best performance. Of course, throughout the implementation there will be questions and there will be certain moments when they will have to improvise, but it's good to see the whole framework and to think about this and to know how best they can reach those goals that they set in the very beginning of this cooperation. To me, pro bono is almost like a Lego. The participants can build a fairly simple and very complex, even sometimes complicated, but better to say complex structure, even long structure. This all depends on the possibility, the availability, the needs of the participants, often influenced by the company that creates the pro bono program, but most importantly has to reflect again on the need, on the issues of the supported organizations. So in what skill areas pro bono can be imaginable? Well, basically it can happen almost anywhere in all professional areas. As I mentioned, nowadays this is not only connected to legal help, but to a lot of other business areas, because organizations as well have to face these issues, and they also have to grow and they have to adapt to the new situation, so they can learn in a great way from those experienced consultants that are maybe more advanced and have better knowledge than they in those professional skill areas. Again, it has to reflect on the skill set of the pro bono volunteers. So if there is a corporate volunteer program, most of the time it provides the typical and the best skills of their workers. Very often this is around communication, because everyone has to communicate, PR, marketing as well, creating a strategy or a campaign. Very often it's about development, business development, process solution or service design. Each organization have organizational or HR issues, challenges. So you can imagine an HR team can help a great deal to solve that or to find new tools, new techniques. I already mentioned legal issues, IT, and also finance is a huge area where organizations definitely need support. And financial professionals can provide, in terms of financial planning, business planning, or other financial operation issues, great advice. So I think now you see that this is very important for all players. Pro bono is basically a sweet spot of knowledge, talent, and organizational development. This is an activity where almost everyone benefits. Obviously, number one, the non-profit organizations that are creating a new service or develop a new program or just simply became more sustainable through those advices due to this common thinking that is really important and beneficial for their work. But pro bono is great for the employees as well. We often hear that this is one of the best ways to develop their soft skills, to make them step out from their comfort zone and to work on practical real-life issues in a team. And those skills, those experiences can really support their everyday work as well. So from that, obviously, you see that for companies, for employees, this is great. This is, to me, one of the best ways to support talent and leadership development, and more companies actually build pro bono into these HR programs. So with that, you can see that pro bono is basically not a nice to have corporate social responsibility program, but this is something that serves directly the business goals, and through that, the business benefits as well. So this is, to me, for companies that are responsible and want to act effectively, want to be successful, it's a must-have. Well, this can be translated to universities as well. Universities are important actors in society, so they can also show that they actually are responsible players of their environment, but as well they create great learning opportunities for the students, and they also build connections to community organizations, and that is very important, to businesses that are the possible employers of their students. So I think pro bono is just a great solution for universities. And because we are talking about a university pro bono program development in which students are actually playing an important role, this is, I think, one of the best places where students can turn theories into practices. Pro bono is a great way to put all that they learned in their university years into practice, especially in business areas like finance, management, communication, marketing. This is just great because the organizations are bringing the real life challenges, and the students in the frame of the pro bono project have to find a solution and have to act as consultant, in which very often mentors are supporting. As well, the universities should support preparation, so should provide preparation and different mentorship. But the goal is that students themselves find the solution that can work best for the organizations in the frame of the university pro bono project. So we support and we encourage everyone to think about and create these student pro bono programs, because this is just great for the connections and deepen their management and practical knowledges. We had discussions with mentors, and we see that the students can grow tremendously through these encounters, through sitting together, thinking with the NGOs, trying to find the solutions, working in teams, setting goals, and trying to come out with something that can work on a long term for those supported NGOs. By meeting these organizations, the students became aware and maybe also conscious about the social issues that the organizations are trying to tackle. So obviously it makes them more open, makes them more conscious, so they will hopefully become more responsible actors of societies. That is maybe more important than ever before. And they will bring this knowledge into their professional career. They will be probably important players in many different places. And if they bring this mindset, and if they talk about their experience, if they show the example, most probably they will also influence the companies that are future players and also very influential on how our societies will evolve. So we see that putting students into pro bono experiences is like putting seeds that will grow and will have a lot of interesting fruits. Maybe in years, maybe these students will be important business leaders and will influence the possible programs, responsibility programs, pro bono programs of those businesses that they will serve or they will lead. So finally, last but not least, why we created this program and why we think that this is so important. I think by now you see that we strongly believe in the power of pro bono and that the impact these programs can have on certain organizations, so locally as well, on a community or even in a country level. We strongly believe that pro bono is one of the best tools to enable students to support NGOs and also advance companies, and to link all this together in an ecosystem. We also work in this for several years, and we saw that this can work in many different ways, and it can have all this positive impact on the players that was mentioned already. So we wanted to test and we wanted to try, and we said our hypothesis was, if it works for corporate employees, why it could not work for students with several years of experience? Of course, in the right environment and with proper support. Well, let's test how these experiences can work out best. So we put together all our experiences in these past few years. We created pilots, we tested programs in different countries, in different formats, in different lengths, and then we came up with this guide and with this online tool that hopefully, in our belief, will have a positive impact and will also help other universities to grow their pro bono projects. We want to encourage universities all over Europe, in the eastern part, in the western part, north or south, to think about the possibility of creating maybe a uniquely designed, a uniquely managed pro bono program, maybe that can just connect it to one department, maybe entire university can sign up and show responsibility, create opportunity for the students, for the organizations, and as well build contacts to companies. In the coming videos, our colleagues from the different project partners will tell you about the experiences and the different methodologies and the different tools that we created, that you will also see in the guidebook that you will find on the BEESE website. Please think about your possibilities. We think that creating a pro bono project is really a great possibility. It's also a challenging journey with a lot of tasks, but we truly hope that in the coming years we'll see many new interesting programs, and we hope that this work that we invested in this BEESE project will support in one way or another all those that want to grow and want to learn and want to create this. For sure, our organizations and university partners will be there. So if you have questions, maybe watching these videos or reading the guidebook, please contact us and we'll be happy to connect and talk to you. And now finally, just to see if you understood what was introduced, see a few final questions. And we believe if you can answer this, then you got the point, and my message could also go through. With that, I wish you all the best. Have a great development, pro bono journey, and hope to be in touch in the future somehow, somewhere.